Now we're in exam season. So, have you ever looked at a young person or a child during a mid meltdown and then thought to yourself, how can I help them cope? And so we tell our children to calm down. And do we actually teach them how to do that? So when that young person around you, or your child, is having a meltdown, that isn't bad behavior. That's just a skill that needs to be developed. It's undeveloped. So what is your first reaction? So imagine, picture this. So you're there, your child is having a meltdown, and you're thinking to yourself, how do I get them to cope? And they're really losing it. What is your first reaction? And that reaction right there is their first lesson in emotional regulation. So, why does it matter so much about having emotional intelligence? You know, we're in a fast paced world, and now with the onset of artificial intelligence, it's even more important now than ever that our children have this emotional regulation and have this emotional intelligence. Let's face it, like if your child is now in year 7, so they're about 11 or 12 years old, by the time they graduate and they're 16, the world is going to be a different place. So the jobs that are available now are going to be completely different to the jobs that will be available in the next 5 to 6 years' time. So I'm not saying that education isn't important. What I am saying is that emotional intelligence and emotional regulation are tantamount in today's fast-paced, high-pressure world, because everything else is changing about qualifications that are wanted and needed. And lots of research show that young people that have high developed amounts of emotional regulation and emotional intelligence, they are more successful in their lives, they hold the leadership positions, they have better relationships within themselves and their families and their friends. They're the ones that get promoted in work situations much quicker, and they are happier and have longer lives. So today, emotional intelligence or emotional skills are essential. They're not even optional anymore. So what is emotional intelligence or emotional regulation? It's just really being able to pinpoint how you're feeling, understand how you're feeling, put a name to it, and to be able to manage them and change them. So, in just one sentence, just really a couple of words, it is responding to what's happening out there rather than reacting. And what we do here at Julian Campbell Foundation, we train mentors, and our mentors use mood maps. And the mood maps is what we use with the young people to not only distinguish how they're feeling, but also to manage their mood. So I'm just going to share with you a mood map, if you can see it there. And the mood map tells us two things: how we're feeling. Are we feeling really, really energetic, or really, really like no energy at all? So, and how we feeling? Are we feeling really, really positive, or really, really rubbish and negative? And it's those two things, like the level of energy and that pleasantness and how we're feeling in that moment, that give us our mood. And when we're here and we're showing a young person how to measure or manage their mood, first of all, we ask them to look at the mood map, and we have 4 parts of the mood map. We have the high energy part of the mood map. You can see that in the red and the yellow, and the low energy. And you can see that is the blue and the green. They're the low energy ones. And also, as well, we have the positive side of the mood map, which is the yellow and the green, and the negative, like when you're feeling really rubbish, that side of the mood map, which is red and blue. And sometimes the young people that we work with, they don't know how to measure their mood, and that's fine. because as you can see, like in the red section of the mood map, that would be like high energy and really feeling negative and, low mood or feeling rubbish. And in that red section, there's quite a few high energy emotions, with anger being the most energetic of that, and other moods such as overwhelm, stress, anxiety, overwhelmed. I don't know if I said that before, being upset, being disgusted. All of those are high energy negative emotions. And it's really important that if a young person can't identify exactly where they are, that they can use the colors first of all, because by using the colors, at least they can identify where they are, if they've got high energy or low energy, whether they're in a good mood and a bad mood. And so we can start with the colors, and then from there we can start looking at the actual mood. So this is a mood map that we use, and we show young people, and in the drama workshops that we do in schools as well, we show young people how to name their mood, and then they have a choice if they want to change their mood. So think about, let's say, for example, think about the last time that you were overwhelmed. And so if you're thinking about that now, like our overwhelm on our JCF mood map is a high energy and really feeling negative. So it's in the red part of the mood map. And so knowing that when you're overwhelmed, it's just high energy emotion, and it's negative as well. So you're feeling pretty negative, pretty rubbish. What can you do once you've spotted it and you know that it's a high energy and it's negative? What you can do is start to do something about it. So first of all, naming it with the vocabulary and seeing it on the mood map, seeing that it's low, it's high energy and it's negative mood, that reduces the intensity because you can actually see it rather than feeling it. Yeah. And once you see it, then you can start doing something about it. So when we're working with young people and they're in overwhelm, which means that they're high energy and they're feeling really negative, we can speak with them and identify what they can do to change or manage their mood. So what we want to do really is to have a young person that is high energy, to bring it down so they're calmer. And then when they're feeling negative on the red side, to bring them across to the right side or the bright side of the map. And there's various things that we encourage them to do to be able to do that. So when you're in the red and you're overwhelmed, then doing some kind of like exercise. I mean, for me, I like walking, I like running. Some of you might like jumping on the trampoline or anything like that, because when you are overwhelmed, you're anxious, you're stressed, you're angry, you have a lot of energy because of the hormone adrenaline. And the hormone adrenaline isn't there to make you think and reflect and evaluate. This is a chemical that makes you want to, so it's called the flight and fright hormone. It wants you to escape a perceived threat. So therefore you'll have a boost of adrenaline, and then in that moment you'll have that boost of energy, and doing any kind of exercise like running or walking or something like that, you will start burning out the adrenaline, and it will start reducing itself because it thinks that you've escaped from that threat. Remember back in the days, like when we were pursued by bears and animals, and it was either like we were going to be their tea, their dinner, or we were going to escape, that we would actually have that boost of adrenaline. So we would escape in that moment. We would just run because we've got that adrenaline inside us, and it would encourage us to, fly, fright, or even freeze. So we either escape or we don't escape. And then when the body sees that we have escaped the threat, the levels of adrenaline will go down. So that overwhelm that you're feeling will go down. Other ways that our mood mentors help or support our young people to manage their their mental health or their mood is by doing something that will bring them from the negative side of the mood map onto the bright side or the positive side of the mood map. And that can include many things. Like a lot of our young people already, they love art, they love doing a bit of drama, they like there's somebody, a special friend or a parent or a loved one they can speak with, and as they're speaking with them, they're actually bringing their mood from the rubbish side, from the negative side, and really improving it. And so a lot of young people are already using these skills, and they don't realize the impact of these skills on their mental health and well-being. So a lot of young people, they already like and enjoy art, and they do drama, but they don't realize, or even they have like manuals where they write down what's happening, and these little journals. And what they don't realize, that if they use it in these specific times when they're feeling overwhelmed, that it will really help them with what they're dealing with, and manage their mood and transform and change their mood. So so consider that once we've named our mood, like, you name it, it loses its hold, and then you can tame it, you know, as we just gave the example with the overwhelm. And so, what does resilience actually mean? So we're talking about emotional intelligence, being aware of your mood, and not only aware of your mood, but how to manage your mood, and then how to manage the mood of others out there in your circle. And then the resilience can be really hard, because as adults and parents, we really want to protect our young person. We really want to help them with what they're dealing with. We don't want them to feel that pain of what's happening to them. We try and protect them, and that doesn't work, because it's really important as us as parents and adults to walk alongside that young person. So when they have that difficult time and they're experiencing it, that you're there holding their hand to help them get back up after the difficulty, and helping them, give them the strength to be able to, with your support, to be able to move forward. And a lot of us as parents and carers, we say something like, something difficult happens, and then we say, your child might have said, I've had a really difficult day, I've been bullied, or the exams are really hard and I've failed. And immediately we want to say, oh, don't worry about it, everything's okay. And that's not the right thing to say. Well, it's not that it's not the right thing to say, it's not impactful, because it's really important that we validate their mood and we accept what it is that they're saying. Because once we accept it, and then they can start feeling their emotions and feeling their mood and experiencing their mood, and then you're there with them, helping them, being their model as well. Because remember, I said at the open, like, your child is losing it, they're having a meltdown. What do you do? How do you react? And it's you reacting in that way that's calm, that's really modeling to them. Instead of saying, oh, you stop it, or what's wrong with you, or just kind of like, just stop it, stop it, which some of us might do. It's rather being that calm and just really being that space for them. They'll see how we're behaving and we're managing our mood in that moment, and they will learn from us. So, so young people are going to experience disappointment, failure, they're going to make mistakes, and all of this is okay, because, like, what you want to do is validate what it is that they're feeling. Validate what it is that they're feeling. And if they say it's hard, yeah, you agree with them. Yeah, it's hard. And you can do hard things, because then you're validating what it is that they're experiencing, rather than not validating it, and giving them giving that opportunity with you by their side to get through to the other end. So what our young people need most from us, they need us being calm and providing that space for them. Cuz, hey, how are you? And also as well, As well as being calm, we need to have empathy. And also as well, we are the models to help the young people in our lives regulate their emotions. So rather than saying, what's wrong with you, stop it, don't say that, don't feel that, we are saying things like, okay, so where are you feeling that in your body right now? What's that like for you? And really talking them through what it is that they're experiencing until they come through the other end. So really the magic thing to say is, I hear what you're saying, I believe what you're saying, and I am here. So, feelings, they're like waves, you know, they are like waves. Because we're teaching young people how to surf. And, these small moments where you are there by their side, or where they're by their side, really helps them build these big skills for them to go forward in their lives. And I just want to say to you, just leave you with one thing, like, what is it that you're going to start using today for that young person in your life to have those enhanced skills of resilience, to help them manage their emotional intelligence or well-being? What is it that you're going to put in place to help that young person? So being that model, that is the best way for you or us to make a difference to the young person. As I said when we started this, like, we're in exam season, we want to support our children and young people and help them manage their mental health and well-being and have that calmness. Because with the overwhelm and stress and anxiety, that's usually with an abundance of adrenaline in the body. So what we want to do is really show them ways of bringing down the adrenaline and then moving them across to the bright side of the mood map. Because when they're there, they're better able to learn, they're better equipped to revise and understand and be really successful in their exams. So my name's Jackie Campbell, and I am speaking with you on behalf of Julian Campbell Foundation, and you have asked us specifically to speak about resilience and emotional intelligence. Rochelle, I don't know if you're still there. Have you got is there anything you wanted to say, cuz? But anyway, I'm going to speak with Rochelle. So thank you for watching. If there's any questions, and if you do want more about us talking about the exam season, please do let us know. We'll see you next week on the next video. Thank you.